Hi everyone, welcome back to another Magazine Monday. We're using our Craft Beautiful magazine, issue 327, winter special. We're going to be making this twisted gatefold card. I'm having problems with this card. I'm not going to even lie. I've abused a few sheets of paper in the making of this creation. It's a fairly straightforward card, but I'm somehow having trouble with straightforwardness. It seems complicated is my thing. So this is our demo, our go by, our card that we created. And if you've been watching, you know I have a ugly paper series going on as well. And some of this paper right here is from the ugly paper series. I really wanted to put these on here because I thought it would be good cut up, but even this back, which is this side right here, it looks really good. Like I said about the ugly paper, when you cut it up and do other things to it, it's not so bad. But this is how it looks. So let's go ahead and get started. So they say we need to have a sheet of paper. Our first piece is a piece of pink cardstock at 15 centimeters by 21 centimeters. I don't have a cutting board that does that or a scoreboard, so I just measure it out. Those pieces, I get a pencil, those measurements, and I just go from 0 to 21, and I mark it off on the paper. Then I turn it, and I measure from 0 to 15. Now you're probably like, Brandy, what kind of measuring is that? Brandy measuring. Alright, so I have my paper trimmer out, and I'm just going to cut directly on my line. You can't see it, but it's there. Then I'm going to cut directly on the line. I don't cut below the line or above the line. Above or below the line, I cut directly on the line. So I did try to get this 15 centimeters by 21 centimeters measured out for inches, and I couldn't get it done. But the next step is to measure 7 centimeters by 7 and 7. So every 7 centimeters. And I was able to get that measured out. I have the measurements wrote down on here. So the left panel is going to be, each panel should be 2 3/4, right? So our first one is going to be 2 3/4. Now, if you have a scoreboard that you can actually measure in centimeters, it should be 7, 14, and then at the very end it should be 24. I did measure it out just in case you're interested. It's 5 7/8 by 8 1/4. That is the measurements of the 15 and 21. But I feel like 15 and 21 is just so much easier to figure out. Especially if you have a cutting board that cuts those measurements, you'll be fine. So this is 2 3/4. One more time for good measure. And then the next one would be 5 1/2. So 5 1/2. Okay, you're going to measure that out. What is your weakness for crafts? Like, what craft is your weakness? Now, for whatever reason, the edges, you know, these are all perfect 2 3/4, but the middle is off a little bit, which is no problem. It is the conversion, my conversion. I tried to go onto the website again, as I stated previously, to I'm just refolding these over, and I'll tell you why in a minute. It's just a lot easier for me for the next step. I tried to go on the website and see if they had a conversion, but they don't. So the next step says that we're going to score a diagonal line from the corner to the tip. So it says score from the top right to the bottom left. I can't do that on the scoreboard. So what I have done is taken this Fiskars score tool, and I just line it up right here. You could also use a ruler and a pencil, and then take it back to your scoreboard and scored. But I feel like this is easier. You know, I've made that card, attempted to make that card multiple times today, this morning. So, and that's a little bit off, but that's okay. We're going to adjust it. And this is why I had problems. The same issue that I just did, I had problems on the scoring tool, the scoreboard with that. At first I was like, is it my left or their left? But I was like, okay, Brandy, come on. Don't do that to yourself. I sometimes feel like college didn't prepare me for crafting. So strange. So I'm just gonna, I rub this twice, 2 or 3 times, you know. And it's not gonna get a real score like you would on a scoreboard, but you can see that it does something. So now what we're going to do is fold these, and I'm going to do this side first just because I felt like I need to do that side first. So now we got this, and we're folding it over. And when you're folding it, be careful with your corners. Those tips can tear very easily. Very, very easily. And that's why you need to make sure you get a good score where you're scoring it at. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm just going to score this down, fold it, and rub it down. This is probably a lot easier if we did it all in centimeters, in my opinion. I know some people probably don't like centimeters, but centimeters are so, the basic ones. I don't know about any fancy numbers and all that, but this is how it's going to look. I'm not really pleased with it because this corner is off some. So what I'm going to do is redo this. I'm going to get another piece of paper and do it again. Okay, so here we are back here, and I decided to do it not with the US measurements, but with the centimeters. So this is 7 and then 7, and it actually folds over properly. Imagine that. And then I'm just taking I took a pencil and I just wrote on where the score should be. All right, just so you know, I decided to use my paper trimmer as a score because it has a straight line in that little gusset portion. I guess, I don't know what it's called, the track. And so I got a good score. Yay me. So I'm going to erase this line. Hopefully I don't pick up any of the color off of it. All right, so now that we have painstakingly got our score marks, I'm going to gently create this fold over. And so the first part should look like that. I'm quite sure she whipped this card up in like seconds, right? Because it's not a hard card to make. And gatefold cards, in my opinion, are very fun to make. I never did a twisted gatefold card. And so now we have our base. So now let's pick some paper. Okay, so we're going to use this sheet of paper. And it's like this. The paper partition, it was at the top, so we're going to cut it this way. Hopefully I get this right this time. Just go around. So I'm just going to put this up here and say, okay, yep, that's how I want to do it. And let me go ahead and cut it down. All right, so we are almost finished, honestly, but I just wanted to show you, it's only 2 steps in this card, and it doesn't tell, it just says on the last panel, score from top to bottom left, adhere pattern paper to all parts, leaving a border of card base visible. You see that? That's it. And then the bottom tells you about punching out a circle. So yeah, anyway, what I did last time is I measured it out exactly the same, and I ended up cutting a sliver off because it was just a little bit too big, and the same thing is going to happen this time. But I want to show you how it's going to look, and I think we may reserve the right to do this portion, but we'll see. Only reason why I'm saying this because it's a lot of pink, but I have this orange on here as well. So we're going to close this. And to get our folds, I'm going to crease this really nicely. Okay. And so here is the fun part. You can do this portion like this, and I'm going to cut a sliver off just so you know. Or you could do this portion like this. It definitely depends on how you cut your card down. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut. I'm just going to cut a small piece of that down and we'll be back. All right, so I have my pieces over there and you can see that it's smaller now. All right, so we got that piece. And we're ending up probably going to need to use these sides versus the other side, which I think is cool because it is a funky card in itself. So since it's such a funky looking card already, I don't feel like we need to use the green sides. I think we we definitely should keep the weirdness going with these colors. Because all of the colors coordinate really nicely, even though they're odd colors to try and match up, right? I think I want to go with this piece on here. So I'm going to cut this side down again. And I think I may go with this piece on this side. Yep, I think that's what we're going to do. And I do like this. I don't know if I want to decorate the insides, though. You see, I keep trying to put that green on there. It's not going to work because I cut it backwards. I don't know about this. Leave a comment in the comment section below and tell me, would you have added them? Because I'm not going to, you see. I just think it throws it off a little bit doing that. So I'm not going to add it. All right, so I got the double-sided tape on. And we're going to go ahead and put our panel pieces on there. You can use wet glue if you like. I don't think it should warp it that much, especially for your tips of your cards, your panels at the top, the tips of them. But I just felt like going ahead with this adhesive tape. All right, make sure you don't get it on your fold like I did. Let me fix that. All right. So we got the piece adjusted and fixed. Yay for patience. Did not take that long, I promise. All right, so I've trimmed this down. I'm gonna trim this down. Now this is where, wet glue would definitely be easier to use. It's much more forgiving than this daggone tape. So that is something to keep in mind when you are figuring out what adhesive you want to use. I am going to look up an American measurement of a gatefold card and see. I can't make an American gatefold card. And when I say American, I mean just inches, measurements in inches. I know some people that are based in the UK and they use inches versus centimeters. I think because people on YouTube at least, I think they have a larger American or inches population, inch users, than they do centimeter users. I don't know, all that conversion stuff is just so annoying. Come on, tape. Nope, let's see. Struggleville here. All right. Nope. All right. It's done. It's on. Yay. For patience again. And now I'm just going to burnish it on there. Crooked, straight. However. All right. So this is our gatefold card. Twisted gatefold card. Which I really think is a cool thing. Yeah, let's go ahead and find some flowers to make the flower piece with. Okay, so I picked some colors out. I was hoping I had some green because I thought that would be very cool, but I didn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that yellow piece, kind of bury it at the bottom, put this and then these little tiny ones, and then put a green in the middle. Now I think I may be struggling a little bit because I don't know if I like this. So you'll see. Okay, let's get to it. So what I did on the last card is I just kind of glued the glue down, and then I applied the flowers. So with the gatefold, from what I've noticed, and when I did a few folding gate cards or gatefold cards, you kind of want it to be like an illusion. So this is the beauty of wet glue. If you put it down wrong, you can kind of manipulate it a little bit. Now, you really can't do that too often with this art glitter glue because it's like, hey, I'm here to do a job, and that's to dry as fast as possible. I don't cost all that money for nothing. If you wanted Elmer's, hey, you could have went to the Dollar Tree. I don't know. I don't think art glitter glue really talks, but I just made that up, right? And I used 3 different styles of flowers. I don't know any of them. Just pretty. And then I'm going to try, I have a lot of jewels on my desk. Now, I don't know about that big old green thing. Let's do a yellow. Why not? Let's just tie it back in. Oh no, let's do lime. Lime. And it's kind of flat. That's not even lime, Brandy. You know what? I'm tripping. I don't know my colors today. Got a lot of stuff going on. You know, sometimes when you have a lot of stuff going on, it's best just to stay home and not interact with people, right? Because your bad day can definitely, in my opinion, your bad day can influence someone else to have a bad day. And I don't want that. But I'm thinking about a lot of randomness, nothing majorly important. So this is our finally, card, right? And I do like that you can't, like, I don't know, this panel stuff, I don't think I want to put a panel on everything. Like, yeah, no. Even though it would be kind of cool if it kind of connected right here. But I think it's just weird enough to work the way it is. Let me know in the comments like I asked you before. But this is our completed project, and it's supposed to stand up at the end, and it does. I would probably leave this blank, and the person can just write in a darker color. Only because that green is really pretty, or I could have put a smaller size in. So these are 2 completed cards. Looks like the dark pink prevailed, and we did use some ugly paper as well. So I want to say thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.